BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook and casino. Live betting and racebook. We're celebrating 30 years with a historic offer. A 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Plus 10% gambler's insurance. Get started today. BetUS, where the game begins.
All right, we are back. Little week break. Finally, we are back to UFC weekends. I'm not going to lie. I don't like weekends when there's no fights. This fight card, man, a little upset Belal Muhammad pulled out, right? It was supposed to be Belal Muhammad taking on Shavkat Rakhmonov in the main event. Of course, Belal Muhammad had, I believe, he infected his toe and, was all puffed up. So he had to pull out, shout out to Shavkat Rakhmonov and Garry for stepping up. I sort of wish it was for an interim title. I wish sort of that was the main event. But at the end of the day, they're still fighting. So who really cares whether it's the co-main or the main? You're still going to get to see that fight take place. And I think that's going to be a great fight, man. Before we start, though, if you guys need a place to bet, BetUS, promo code Iceman. I'm telling you right now, this is a really good card to bet on. Especially if you parlay a few favorites here, like a Rakhmonov with someone else. That's a nice little double up there. Just saying. Let's get straight into it. So we got Pantoja taking on Kai Asakura. This is interesting because most people really don't get a title shot in your first UFC fight. So this guy's first UFC fight, he's getting the title shot. That's pretty unheard of. But the fact that, that just shows you how bad the flyweight division is, that they're giving Kai Asakura a title shot with literally no fights in the UFC. All right, this is a shot that should have been to Muhammad Mokaev. If anyone has deserved a title shot, 7 wins in a row, that guy did. But what can you do, man? I mean, they got rid of him, unfortunately, and now we got Kai Asakura. And let's get straight to it. So Asakura here, 21 wins, 4 losses. All of those 4 losses, he actually has wins over all 4 of those guys. So he lost to Manel Kape. He also has a win over Manel Kape. So he lost to Horiguchi, and then he beat Horiguchi, right? He lost to Hiromasa, and now he's got a win over that guy as well. And Jihu Moon, he's also got a win over him. So every single one of his losses, he's actually has a win over the guy. So that's interesting. He's able to get either the win back or previously has the win. So he does have wins over guys who have beat him before. That being said, he looked really good against Juan Archuleta. Juan Archuleta is good, but he hasn't really fought the same level of competition as, Pantoja. Pantoja's fighting the top guys, man. Kyoji Horiguchi is the last person to finish Kai Asakura, and he also trains with Pantoja. But also, Kai Asakura also knocked out Horiguchi at Risen 18 in the first round. I believe it was like a minute in. Knocks out Kyoji Horiguchi, and then Horiguchi gets that knockout back in the first round. So they're 1 for 1. The thing is, what I will say about the Japanese organizations like Risen and what's the other one? One Championship. They do have a lot of good fighters in the lower weight classes. Now, when you get to the higher weight classes, anything above lightweight, now they don't have that same skill level, right? The guys in the UFC clearly dominate. But if you see, they got a lot of small Asian guys that are doing pretty good in the lower weight classes. But, above lightweight, not so good. But this one's interesting, man. I think a lot of people here don't really know Kai. And they're sort of counting him out. They're like, whatever, first fight in the UFC, big underdog. Don't count out Kai Asakura. He's the real deal. He's a very good striker, and he's got wicked knees. He throws up right up the middle, which might land really good on Pantoja, because Pantoja sort of likes to rush in there and throw hooks. That might be a bad matchup for Pantoja in the striking, but Pantoja I would say is the better grappler out of the two. So if he he's probably going to out-grapple Kai Asakura. I would say this fight is going to go to decision if I were to guess. If it's going to be a finish, I think Kai Asakura is probably going to get the knockout. If there is a submission, it's probably going to go to Pantoja, and if it's a decision, it could really go either way. But yeah, this fight, I would take the over on that one. But yeah, Pantoja should get it done. He's got the experience, but I'm not a big fan of Pantoja. This one, Shavkat Rakhmonov, 18-0, taking on Ian Machado Garry, 15-0. This one is going to be insane. The Nomad, Shavkat Rakhmonov, Kazakhstan's #1 fighter. He's just on a roll. 18 finishes, 18 fights. He's just destroying everybody. And I believe he's going to destroy Ian Machado Garry as well. Ian Machado Garry is a very good striker. Good ground game as well. But I just think Shavkat Rakhmonov is a destroyer. And he's just a murderer, man. He'll eat one to give one. And Ian Machado Garry is not a guy who likes to sort of stand in the pocket and trade one to give one. Shavkat, on the other hand, will. He's a dog, man. And his striking is so good. He hits so hard, and he's got that really good knee. He throws up the middle right to the body. He's real good, man. Shavkat Rakhmonov is, in my opinion, he's one of the best fighters in the UFC. Wait till, he was supposed to get the title shot. He obviously will after this one, but he is so good, man. Guys like Shavkat, guys like Topuria, Hamzat, like, if those guys all be champions, you got a bunch of undefeated champions. That's going to be insane, man. That's crazy. John Jones, undefeated champion at heavyweight. Then, that's crazy, man. But yeah, this is a tough fight for Machado Garry. Shout out to him for even taking the fight, man, because he was supposed to fight Buckley next weekend, which is also a really tough fight. Joaquin Buckley's no joke either. So, whatever, a lot of hating going on Machado Garry. A lot of people don't like him. Hate him or love him or hate him, man. The guy's taking a tough fight, man. With Shavkat, that's crazy, bro. No one wants that fight right now. Nobody. Yeah, Shavkat, 5-rounder. I think he gets the finish here. I think it's going to be by KO. KO, yeah. I'm going to go with Shavkat Rakhmonov by KO, and he's a huge favorite right now. Cyril Gane taking on Alexander Volkov. Huge favorite as well, minus 340. The thing with this fight, Volkov's ground game is not very good. Right? You really seen it exposed with Aspinall. Volkov's ground game is not very good at all. I know he submitted Tai Tuivasa, big whoop. But his ground game is not that of a level of like an Aspinall. So I don't know if he's going to be able to take Gane down. Gane's got a decent ground game. He's got a couple submissions, heel hooks, and stuff like that. But he's not really a grappler either. Hopefully he's been working on it after the John Jones fight. But I have a feeling this is going to be a striking match. Volkov's a striker as well. So, 6'7", he's a monster. And the issue is you're striking with Cyril Gane, the #1 striker in the heavyweight division. It's not even close. And, just a bad matchup for Volkov again. So I think Cyril Gane should get the victory here. I think he's just going to piece him up all day. His striking is very good. This one is interesting. My boy Crone, Ice Cream Crone. One of my favorites to watch in jiu-jitsu back in the day. I remember ADCC. He's fought everybody, man. When he's fought, he beat Calazans, fought Marcelo Garcia, beat Octavio Souza, JT Torres, beat Gary Tonin. He's a monster, absolute monster of a grappler. Now, that being said, his MMA grappling is not really this same level because, his wrestling isn't the greatest and he doesn't really have any striking whatsoever. Hopefully he's worked on that, at least even a little, to at least set up a takedown. I would like to see him really work on the wrestling, getting the fight to the ground like a Damian Maia. Right, Damian Maia was never the best striker, but he was a very strong grappler, and not just in jiu-jitsu. Like, he had really good wrestling and takedowns as well. So I think that's what Crone needs to do, really focus on the takedowns. The fact that they have him as a plus 475, I don't agree with that at all, and I actually might even take that because Bryce Mitchell is not a Charles Jourdain or a Cub Swanson, they're very good strikers. Charles Jourdain is a wicked striker, and so is Cub Swanson. Bryce Mitchell, on the other hand, he's not a very good striker at all. I mean, does he even... I don't think he has one knockout. Yeah, he's never won a fight by knockout. He's a grappler. Bryce Mitchell is a grappler. He likes to go out there and submit guys. He's got more submission wins than he does decisions, right? And he has got 0 knockouts. He's a submission guy. And the issue is you're not going to be submitting Gracie. There's 0 chance he's going to be submitting Gracie. Gracie has to be extremely hurt for him to get caught in a submission. I just don't see him submitting Gracie at all. No way. And the fact that, his striking isn't very good, Bryce Mitchell, so it's not going to be very good striking. Is Bryce Mitchell going to just go in there and strike with Crone, or is he going to actually play the ground game like what he does with everyone else? I've never seen, Bryce Mitchell go in there and not try to grapple. This might be the first fight where he goes in there and doesn't want to grapple. He might go in there and look like Bo Nickel and Paul Craig. And it might be just sloppy, horrible fight, but it is what it is. The fact that I have Gracie almost plus 500 fighting another grappler like Bryce Mitchell, who, he's got no knockouts, so he's never knocked anybody out. Crone does have a good chin. And, this fight, if it goes to the ground, I'm telling you right now, Gracie's jiu-jitsu is insane. I mean, he will submit Bryce Mitchell. If Bryce Mitchell wants to play that jiu-jitsu game with Gracie, it's not going to end very well. I'll tell you that right now. So I'm going to go with Ice Cream Gracie on this one. Maybe because I'm a little biased, because I'm a big fan since back in the day when I used to watch him and, his dad Hickson, big Hickson Gracie fan here. Yeah, I mean, hopefully Gracie hasn't been training with the Diaz bros because those guys are not good training partners. I would not that they're not good training partners. I just feel like you're not getting the right training when you're hanging out with the Diaz bros. Maybe you're smoking too much weed and you're trying to fight like them with the whole boxing. It's just not going to work for Gracie. Gracie needs to be like a Damian Maia kind of style. But hopefully he's tuned up his striking a little because the last few fights have just been looking like Royce Gracie out there from 1995 or 93 or whatever. It was pretty brutal. Nate Lander taking on Doohoo Choi, the Korean Superboy. This one is interesting because the Korean Superboy had a nice win over Bill Algeo his last time around. And now he's fighting the Train, who's got another win over Jamal Emmers, coming off a nice little win there. This one could go either way. I'm going to sort of lean. I sort of like the Superboy on this one. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to go with the Superboy. Yeah, I'll go with the Superboy on that one. Dominic Reyes taking on Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith, man, just not been looking good lately. Guy's got like 60 pro fights, man. And yeah, he looked really bad against Roman Dolidze, not going to lie. He did choke out Vitor Petrino. That was insane. I just think this is going to be a bad matchup for him because Dominic Reyes is decent, good enough to where he can stay away from the jiu-jitsu and the takedowns of Anthony Smith. But he's definitely the better striker to the two and hits harder, coming off a nice win over Dustin Jacoby. That was a big win. Dustin Jacoby's tough boy. To go in there and finish Dustin Jacoby in the first round, that's impressive. So I'm going to go with Dominic Reyes on that one just because of how impressive he looked against Dustin Jacoby. That was really, really impressive. This one's interesting. Vicente Luque taking on Themba Gorimbo. So Vicente Luque was first scheduled to fight Nick Diaz a few times. That fight pulled out. They rescheduled again. Then Nick Diaz was, lighting grass on fire. I don't know what he's doing. He's on some next level drugs. Maybe he's hanging out with, Mike Tyson a little too much. But that boy was tripping. Then after that video came out, they pulled him. right away. They pulled him. I didn't even hear much more about it. And now Vicente Luque's got a much tougher fight in Themba Gorimbo, because his last fight he was going to fight a Nick Diaz who's not even training, and now you're fighting a guy who's really taking this seriously in Themba Gorimbo. He's on a 4-fight win streak, and he's fighting out of Las Vegas. Born in Zimbabwe. He's got, he's racked up a nice little few wins here. Beat Nico Price, beat Takashi Sato. But now you're taking on Vicente Luque. This is a whole nother animal here. I'm going to go with Vicente Luque on this one. I'm going to go with the underdog. Yeah, I like Vicente Luque, and I think he's fought much better competition. I know he's coming off a loss to Joaquin Buckley, but Buckley's a different animal, man, than Themba Gorimbo. So I'm going to go with Vicente Luque on that one. Movsar Evloev taking on Aljamain Sterling. This is a really good fight. Movsar Evloev is a monster, 18-0. I would really like to see this fight a little higher up in the card, because these guys are the real deal. This one should probably be above Dominic Reyes and Anthony Smith, not going to lie. Former champion in Aljamain Sterling. I mean, is he, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I mean, he's like the only former champ up here, other than maybe Gane. I mean, they got to respect Aljo here. I mean, whatever. But yeah, Aljo's got a tough fight. Movsar Evloev is an absolute monster, and he can wrestle. I don't think you're going to be seeing Aljamain Sterling trying to out-wrestle Evloev. Evloev might be way better of a wrestler than Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling is in tremendous shape. He's got a wicked gas tank. His jiu-jitsu is very good. His striking, on the other hand, not so good. His chin, a little suspect. But the thing is, he does train with a guy named Merab Dvalishvili, who's a machine of a wrestler. And if you can stop Merab from taking you down, maybe Movsar Evloev is going to have some hard time taking Aljo down, because Aljo is a very good grappler. But the thing is, I have a feeling Movsar may have a hard time taking Aljo down, but Aljo is going to have a really hard time taking Movsar Evloev down as well. So the fight might just cancel each other out when it comes to grappling. And next thing you know, it's just a striking match. And then who's the better striker to the two? Movsar Evloev is definitely the better striker to the two, and he's got a significant size advantage as well. Actually, not really, actually. They're both around 5'7", but, Aljo is moving up from, this is his second fight, I believe, at featherweight. After he fought Cater, he looked good against Cater, but Movsar Evloev is a whole nother monster. You're talking about an undefeated Russian. These Russians are on some next level stuff here. Next, so I'm going to go with Evloev on that one. Randy Brown taking on Brian Battle. This is interesting to see Randy Brown. It's such a big underdog here. Brian Battle's been looking good, though. He's got a little 3-fight win streak. He did lose to Hanat Fakhretdinov. Fakhretdinov, he's a monster. He's on a roll right now. Brian Battle's been looking good. He had a nice performance over Kevin Jussi, but now you're taking on Randy Rude Boy Brown, who's coming off some nice finishes as well. 3 fights in a row. I'm going to go with the underdog on this one. I'm going to go with Randy Rude Boy Brown. I think he's just better of a striker than Brian Battle. Now, that being said, Brian Battle might have better jiu-jitsu and grappling, but I think Randy Brown he's hard to take down as well. And he's got some big wins, man. He's beat guys like Chaos Williams, Alex Oliveira, beat Brian Barberena, beat Muslim Salikov, beat Elizzy Zaleski dos Santos. He's got big wins, man. And he's fought guys like Jack Della Maddalena and Vicente Luque, and he's got some, good experience. So I'm going to go with Randy Brown on that one. They're counting him out. This one's interesting. Chris Weidman, Eric Anders. This fight was supposed to be on the last card, and, something happened with Eric Anders. He had to pull out. This fight, I don't know, man. I really don't know on this one. I really sort of want Chris Weidman to win because he is a legend. I just have a feeling, if he can't get the takedown, Eric Anders probably the better striker to the two, and he can grapple as well. So I'm gonna go with Eric Anders on this one. Age 40 now, Chris Weidman. Time to hang it up if you lose this one. But if he wins, then maybe get another one. Get that check. Cody Durden, custom made, taking on Joshua Van. This one's interesting. Cody Durden coming off a nice ninja choke over Matt Schnell. That was a big win, but Matt Schnell, is on like a 3-fight losing streak or something. Joshua Van, on the other hand, he's been looking not bad, coming off a win over Edgar Chairez. Does have one loss in the UFC to Charles Johnson, who's been looking pretty good lately. But I'm going to go with Cody Durden on this one. I think Cody Durden's wrestling might give Joshua Van some trouble. I'm just going to go with Cody Durden. I think he's got the experience on him as well. So I'm going to go with the underdog on this one as well. Michael Chiesa taking on Max Griffin. Michael Chiesa, poor guy, destroyed Tony Ferguson, and now you're taking on Max Griffin. This fight, I'm telling you, it's going to go decision, so I take the over on that one. I have a feeling this one's going to the decision. And yeah, if this fight goes to the ground, Chiesa's the better grappler. If it stays on the feet, I would give Max Payne Griffin the slight advantage on the feet on that one. So depends where this fight takes place. But Max Griffin, almost 40 now. Clay Guida taking on Chase Hooper. Clay Guida, age 42, fighting a 25-year-old. Yeah, time's up for Clay. So he's a huge underdog. Plus 650. Chase Hooper should easily win this one. And the last one, Kennedy Nzechukwu taking on Lucas Brzeski. I'll go with Kennedy Nzechukwu on this one. At heavyweight, seems to have a better chin than he did at light heavyweight. So we'll see. We'll see on this one. But your two biggest favorites are on the first fights, which is nice because those will be less competitive as the other ones. But I'm actually pretty stoked for this card, man. This is a good one. And let's make that money. There's some good parlays to make on this one. So if you guys want to do it, BetUS, promo code Iceman. Let's make that money. Out.